Hey, everybody. Hey, Ani.
Hi, Cecily.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us live to hear Ani Di Franco talk about her newest book. I'm Cecily Kaiser. I'm the vice president and publisher of the imprint Rise by Penguin Workshop and the editor of this ever so timely book we will be discussing. Here's the book. Woohoo!
Yeah.
For those of you in the audience who don't already know her, Ani Di Franco is so many things. I'm going to bullet point you right now. You are a Grammy winning musical artist, a feminist icon, a singer, songwriter, and poet, a social and political activist, a founder of your own record label, Righteous Babe, a folk singer who's always pushing the boundaries of the genre, a Broadway star, a documentary star, an author of both adult and children's books, a mama.
Adult books. Wow, that sounds strange.
Um,
Sorry.
G-rated, not really G, PG-13 rated adult books.
PG-13. Yeah, there you go.
Let's see, a dog mama. Have I left anything out? That's a long list.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was pretty good.
it's growing. It's always a pleasure to spend time with you, Ani. Tonight, we are here for two reasons. One, your newest children's book, Show Up and Vote, comes out next week. And two, all of your pals on this call tonight can buy themselves a copy that's signed by you at the link that's right here, showupsignbook.com. And apparently, if you buy it today with the code VOTE15, you get 15% off. 15% off and signed. Irresistible.
Ooh, ah. Yes, I was back in New York in between shows of Hadestown signing books.
Yeah,
In my
that's
little
right.
apartment, just signing and signing away. So please, somebody buy one of those.
That worthwhile,
Yeah.
tired Broadway hand.
Oh, seriously. And I don't have one in my grubby little hands today, unfortunately.
Taunting
The
you.
delivery people decided to be late, so Cecily
Yeah.
can show it to you.
Yeah. Ani has about 40 books coming her way sometime between now and the end of the day. So
Yeah.
it may arrive live. I mean, are you ready for this to hit shelves next week? I'm like,
I'm so ready.
yeah.
So ready.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's all get excited about voting.
Welcome everybody. We're so glad to have you here. We're seeing your messages on the side, so please jump in. Tell us where you're from. Tell us you love Ani. You already did, Casey. We have a bunch of questions for you to answer. I think before we get to that, I'm going to give everyone a taste of the book. And that's the cover. I'll read a few pages so you can get the.
Oh, look, signed and everything.
It's signed this
There
one.
it is. Yeah. Ooh,
real signature. All right. As best I remember, here's how it went. I learned what it meant. Oh boy. I learned what it meant to show up and vote. It was a nasty November, windy and raining. I was complaining about my wet coat. But Mama said, listen, we're on a mission that by definition no one can do for us. And I need you with me, no matter the weather. We do this together, this job that's before us. It's a very important job. I'm going to stop there because I'm like terrible at holding it up in front of this camera. It's all backwards and...
Yeah.
You guys all want to come to my house. I'm so much better at read alouds in person. So, all right. Hi, Lisa from Boston. Exciting. We love seeing you all. Ooh, from the Appalachian Mountains. So we have some questions that people want to know about you and about the book. And I think we should just kind of jump right in. What do you think?
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Alice from Colorado asked, what or who inspired you to write this book?
Well, I've been aware since I was very young that not enough people vote in our democracy. That's kind of what
Truth.
makes it a democracy. And I think, I mean, it's just so crazy to even say, but I think 20% turnout is exciting, in the United States of America,
Wow.
um, which just doesn't seem right. It never has to me. So I've always been out there shouting from rooftops and to anyone who will listen, let's vote. Let's try all voting, everyone who can, and see what happens. Because I believe we would have a much better government and a much better country and much better lives. So I really, you know, I believe that the power of nonviolent revolution is in our hands.
Mm.
It always has been. That's the crazy part. We can have a revolution of peace and justice in this country just by voting, all of us together every time.
Yes.
I mean, it needs to be a lot easier to vote, it needs to. So, but all of these things, we need to get money out of politics. We need to change things structurally, certainly, so that um, our democracy can flourish. But I think, weirdly, overcoming the disillusionment and the frustration and the alienation is the first step,
Mm.
because we have to vote our way to better policies and a better system, better structure that's more democratic. So even though it's maybe not thrilling or really satisfying or gratifying, showing up is the first step, I think. So
Yes.
hence the title of the book.
Yes. That's some straight up Ani wisdom live right now about voting. You said a lot of good phrases in there. Um, Jumping off of that answer, Andrew from Pennsylvania said, "What made you want to make this topic into a children's book?" So, all of that said, why kids who aren't old enough to vote?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that the difference between 20% of eligible voters voting and 100% is education. I mean, I guess we could legislate it, we could make it mandatory to vote, but in lieu of that, I think people understanding how hard fought many of us, our right to vote was, you know,
Mm.
what it took to gain the right to vote, really across the board. Um, how essential it is for our government functioning, us participating and voting, how, you know, understanding all of that is just a factor of education. It's, I think anybody who really gets into what voting means and what not voting means would concur, like, oh wow, this is really important. And so I just wanted to make a tool that voters and young people who are not yet vote, something for parents and kids to engage around, because voting doesn't happen very often. I take my kids to vote with me. I try to vote in person when I can and take them so that they see it and know that it's part of being a grown up. That's not available to everybody all the time. So how do you teach kids how that it's important, that it is like brushing your teeth and paying your bills and all the things that grown-ups do? It's right up there. So I just wanted to make a tool for parents and kids to engage about it, and also really essentially, hopefully, inspire future voters to how cool it is, how empowering it is, how important it is, how much it means that they are taking ownership of their country, of their society.
Yes. You just made me think somebody should do a study into how many kids who went with their parents to vote become voters, right?
I love that.
Something like 20%, like those are probably all people that learned it as children, that learned it
Yeah.
as a responsibility, as a habit, as a thing you do. Just
Yeah.
as you're saying, like everything else.
Yeah, and I've heard of this movement to have the voting age decreased to 16,
Mhm.
which I think is sounds pretty darn cool. I
Mm,
think young people are very aware in this society, especially in this day and age with the world in your pocket. And I think it's pre getting overwhelmed by your own life of responsibility or hurdles to and maybe pre disillusionment. I think empowering people even younger could be a really good idea to get them
cool.
involved and keep them involved.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Wow, that would change the course, I think.
Uh,
It would.
I get goosebumps
Yeah.
thinking about my daughter is going to be a few months shy of voting this November. She's 17 and she turns 18 in January. So we're very bummed that this is not her
Man,
first go, but
you
so much.
couldn't have had her 2 months earlier.
No, see, what was I
What
thinking?
were you thinking? You know, my daughter was born on election day, and
Oh,
now
cool.
I'm wondering, I haven't counted because she's only 5, but how's that gonna equal out? I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, right.
We'll see on the edge of our seats.
Mm.
All right, this is a little bit of a shift. Um, Shelby from Canada asks how long it took to create this book, and she said, "I can't wait to read it."
Wow, Cecily, how long did it
Oh,
take?
shoot, I thought you were gonna turn that back to me.
Yeah.
Um,
It took a while.
yeah,
It
it
took
sure
a
did. It
while.
did.
I can just describe the process a little bit.
Yeah, let's do that because we don't have
When we made that first book, The Knowing, I was having a real hard time getting my head around this language of children and making a book for young readers. And we joked about it back then, like one of our first calls, you were like, "Yeah, okay, metaphor queen, let's calm
bring it
down with the
down.
metaphors.
Yeah.
These are very literal." I was like, "Whoa, that's different." And so much is so very different, when you're talking to kids. So the way that I got to where I wanted to be with The Knowing was to pick up the guitar and make a song. So this time out, I thought, well, I'll do that again. And I picked up the guitar. And one of the conventions that I wanted to thwart with this book about voting was that music is in 4/4 or 8. Western music is we count to 4 a lot, right, people? So I
Break
thought,
the
well,
rules, Ani. Break the
break the
rules.
rules. Let's break the rules, kids. So I wrote the song in 5, and hence the book in 5. But of course, everybody, including my friend Cecily here, who tried to read the book, was like, "This, no, this, I don't even where I." So yeah, there was a whole process of me trying to create a song and a book with a 5/4 rhythm signature, and then abandoning that and reconnoitering and getting to where we got to, which didn't involve the guitar. There's no song. It's just a book.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was a departure from the way we worked on The Knowing and its own challenge, right? Like after the first book, you think I got it.
Yeah,
I got
right.
the language down.
Yeah.
And then, I think, well, you're somebody that always challenges yourself and always raises your own bar. And, that's how you function. So
Yeah.
you
I
went to
do.
5/4 and things got crazy.
Yeah. Things got crazy.
But you'll see when you buy the book at this thing here. This book has a really, I think, still unusual rhythm, but very solid. But not a rhythm that you necessarily read in other children's books because it's Ani and Ani's musical, and this was written from her mind. So
Mhm.
it's definitely worth checking out for that alone. All right, we're moving to Florida. B from Florida asks, what election was happening the first time you voted?
First time I voted, 1988. Goddess knows.
Yeah, right. Maybe we
What
need to
was
talk about that.
happening?
Yeah,
Not good things, people, not good things.
yeah.
But
From
I
80s.
was very excited to vote. I remember when I was 18, I was really thrilled to be finally empowered because I had actually been living on my own for 3 or 4 years, but I had no say,
Mm.
in this society that I was functioning. I was functioning in the adult world, but I was not empowered. So it really meant something to me.
16-year-old Ani definitely could have used a vote for
Yeah,
sure.
right?
Yeah,
16-year-olds voting.
yeah, yeah. I'm really
Let's
getting on board with
let's make
that.
that law.
Yeah. Maybe someone out there listening, you can look up what the election was in '88 and put it in the chat. We can go down memory lane.
Nimble thumbs.
Yeah. Let's see. Shannon from Idaho asks, how can parents start the conversation with their children around voting and politics?
With this book.
Totally a brain
It
hack.
was like you planted that question.
Thank you, Shannon.
Yes, thanks, Shannon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the point. That's the point here.
Now I feel like I need to take out the book again. You're all just going to have to bear with me as I hold it in the wrong place. But there's this really incredible part of this book where they're actually about to vote. And I'm going to read this part to you because this is the conversation starting part of it. Mama knew we had a job to do, a very important job. They're in the voting booth. She said, let's see, how can I do this? There we go. She said, here is the part where it all starts, where us people have a say about laws and rules, about parks and schools, about who's going to run them and in what way. I love that spread so much because I feel like if you have to explain voting to a young child, open the book to that spread and you've done it. That's exactly what it is. It's not, about pushing buttons or choosing names. It's really about thinking about all of the government, everything that the government controls and then how you want it run. And anyway, that alone is, I think, kind of makes the rest of the book worth it. Although the rest of the book is really beautiful too. There's other nuggets. Maybe I'll pull them out as we keep going.
Nuggets.
Ooh, look, 1988. Thank you, Jenny.
Oh yeah, awesome.
Bush, Dukakis, and Amy. Yep. Okay, Bush, Dukakis.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
that was a tough one.
Yeah. Yeah. But
So
yes, the process of voting and reform is slow, but it is worth it.
All right. On that note, Quinn from Tennessee asks, what advice would you give to a first-time voter? It's a good.
Well, related to what we were just talking about, I think that my advice would be to move away from the idea of voting as self-expression. Because I think that it can be very unsatisfactory in that context. But I think that we have so many ways available to us now to express ourselves, the way that we dress and the way that we talk, and the lingo that we use, and the songs that we sing, or the social media that we create to show the world who we are, and all these, we're expressing ourselves all day long, which is terrific. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. And we should all be free. But I think to approach voting that way can make it quickly not fun and not make you not want to do it. I think that a better way to approach voting is to say to yourself, it's not about me. It's not about showing the world who I am. It's not about, branding myself or proving something, or I even feel a little funny when people say, make your voice heard, because it often doesn't feel like that either, really. So if that's the expectation, you might not stick with it. You might not be satisfied. I think for me, it's not about, I have so many ways of making my voice heard, and I love to use them. But when I vote, I do it with the idea that this is not about me. This is for this person and that person and all of us together. This is about showing up to something that's bigger than me. And voting for the lesser of two evils is very not fun, right? It's not gratifying. But if you can be in the mindset, which I think is very, very real, of the lesser of two evils is very probably the difference between life or death for somebody. Somebody, this is going to make the difference between joy and endless suffering. Truly, the lesser of two evils means that for somebody else. So when I vote, and this would be my advice, to my kid when they're going to go for their first time. Remember, it's not about you. This is the one thing that's about us. So if it doesn't feel thrilling or gratifying to you, that's okay. In fact, maybe the less so that it does, the more you are showing up.
Wow.
I'm going to make myself cry now, but the less self-gratification you get out of it, the more you're proving that the collective means something and you're willing to work for that.
I am so glad this is being recorded, because I think that nugget is what we're going to use when Ani runs for office.
Lordy, yes, with Ani crying.
Ani for office, let's do it. You've done so much. You've crossed so much off. I mean, your words are inspirational. I hope this goes out far and wide. Man, that was a good question, Quinn. Thanks for asking.
Yeah.
We got a good answer there. All right. This is different. We're shifting away from voting for a moment. Cal from North Carolina asks, do you enjoy writing books or music more?
I mean, I guess music, because that means I'm playing guitar and singing, both of which set my soul free. I mean, I love writing no matter what, if it's just on a page or even on a glowing screen. But definitely writing a song means that I'm playing guitar, and that's extra fun.
Yeah, that's believable. I think our next books will need to be songs as well. Get that vibe. Stephen from New Jersey, that's where I'm sitting.
Oh, cool.
Says, musician, singer, author, what's next for you, if anything at all?
Well, I mean, I released a record in the spring, so I'm going to go on a delayed tour behind that record starting in January.
And that record is called
Unprecedented Shiznall.
I feel like you could say it, but
for the all ages audience.
Okay.
I'm trying that on from radio.
Shiznall?
Unprecedented Shiznall.
I'm like, if I searched that, would it come up?
I wonder.
Yeah. We should test that out. Yeah.
But yeah, so back to being a musician, a touring musician at some point. But in the meantime, I am working on a theater piece. So another context of writing once again. So
Hmm.
challenging and mysterious, and perhaps will all come crashing down. Yet to be seen.
Yes. Well, that's, you're not Ani if you're not taking risks and trying new things, and they haven't crashed yet. So
Mhm.
I think probably just keep going with that.
Well, yeah, few fender benders. Still runs.
Well, you have a big solid group of people behind you, I think, with anything you do. So many of them right here. Got to read
Mm.
this chat later. There's a lot of love. All right, this is the last question we're gonna do, which is Jade from New York. And Jade asks, what is something you wish you could tell your younger self?
Slow down.
Mm.
Slow down. Slow down. Sit down. Pause. Pause. You don't have to stay running on the little hamster wheel. You actually don't have to. Sometimes that's the thing to do when you're on a mission, um, which has been most of my life. But sometimes, and this has eluded me, the right thing to do is to pause and step back.
Mm.
Step back from your mission and rediscover yourself, refuel yourself, maybe even recalibrate your mission. I just think that my biggest mistake over the years was to not take the time that I needed to be the best and most effective me, person, human, partner, artist, performer, citizen. I think that sometimes the best way to finishing the job is to step away from the desk.
Mm. Do you feel like you tell your kids that somehow? Or do they not need telling?
I hope that I have told them without saying so, like my daughter is 17. She's just started her senior year of high school. And I do believe that every message that she's gotten from me is you don't have to have an answer to what's next, and what are
Mm.
you going to do, and where are you going to go, and what are you going to do. So many people I've witnessed, so many people ask her, what's your point? What's your mission? What you going to do? What's the next steps? 5-year plan, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
like so many kids, she's like, kids is a funny term, but to say, but yeah, young adults. So I do believe I've tried to just show them that being fully in their own bodies and their own joy, and following whatever passion is gripping them in the moment, that is your job. The 5-year plan has never been a thing for me.
Yeah, no way, man. That 5-year plan is BS.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Well, your kids are, I mean, the luckiest to have Ani as their mom. And we are all so lucky to have heard all of those beautiful answers. Thank you so much, and thanks everyone for the questions that we also didn't get to. Thanks for being in this space with us. We have one more exercise. Don't hang up yet, because this is I think this is a really fun part. Before we get to this, we're about to do a lightning round of questions. But before we get to that, just a reminder, you can click this link, showupsignedbook.com, get your book, Remember This Night Forever, start the conversation with
Yeah.
the kids in your life. Let's go. Let's do it. All right. So let's see.
Lightning round.
Lightning round, man. We're supposed to do these in 2 minutes. So that
Oh
means
gosh. Okay.
the first answer that comes to mind.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Where were you born?
Buffalo, New York.
Yes. Who would you want to play you in a movie? It's hard. So hard.
Florence Pugh, because she's just a genius.
All right. Be looking up Florence Pugh.
There you go.
What was your first job?
I mean, first job, babysitting. You know, I think I was a tween. This is okay. Wait, check this out. Mid 80s. I'm probably 13 and watching some toddler. You know, this was, or
The 80s.
yeah, this was the 80s. And there were no rules. And I remember my first babysitting job. I was so young, and they had one of these newfangled telephones. It wasn't bring, bring. No, it was beep, 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 beep. It was like the first iteration of a digit. The ring. I didn't know it was a telephone. I was just like, what is that annoying sound? Didn't answer the phone. Of course, it was the parents. They
Oh
came
no,
home early from their function
because you didn't answer.
because their 12-year-old babysitter did not answer the phone because she didn't know it was a phone.
Yeah. Wow.
Those were the days.
That's a good one. Those were the days. All right. What chore do you hate doing?
What chore do I hate doing? I hate cleaning up after my husband. Oh, too real?
No. We are all real right now. That's a good
Okay.
answer. I think a lot of people relate to that. Okay. What is your biggest fear? That's a tough one.
My biggest fear, that people will be siloed and separated and looking at each other like the other when it's really just us.
Profound in a speed round. All right. Who makes you laugh the most? I think I know this answer.
Oh, Dante.
Dante.
Yes,
Yeah.
my 11-year-old.
Yeah.
That's a hands down situation.
Good. I'm glad he's still number one.
Yeah.
What is the one thing you need to have in your pocket or bag at all times?
Whiteout. Whiteout and a Sharpie. Those go together in my mind.
Whiteout.
Yeah, whiteout and Sharpie. I can pretty much do anything I need to do if I have those two things.
Oh yeah. Okay, love that. Are you a morning person or a night person?
Night.
Mm-hmm. What's your middle name?
Maria. I've just met a girl named.
That's right. Do you have any hidden talents? Well, I think all of your talents are probably pretty out there, but maybe there's some
Yeah. No hidden talents.
Everything's public.
Everything's public. And may or may not be considered talents.
What is your favorite color?
Green. Although I was always a puke green fan.
Wow.
But I'm leaning blue in my old age.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it means.
I think a lot of people lean blue in their old age. Yeah. What does that mean? Okay.
We get colder. Steely. No, not me. I cried.
Or maybe like our eyes change.
Yeah. I don't know. But I mean, for me, I know that the sapphire is my birthstone, and it's taken me 53 years to come around to, oh, blue.
All right.
Maybe.
All right. What are your pets' names?
Lefty and Poncho in
Dog.
reverse order. Get it? It's a song. Townes Van Zandt song, Poncho and Lefty. We couldn't resist.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It happens. I'm sure I'm not the only dog owner with ponchos and lefties.
We'll have to find those other dog owners.
Yes.
Start a little club.
Let's make a club.
What's your favorite word? Wow, that's a hard question for a writer.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Oh, I've also been in the theater. So yes,
Yes.
saying yes
Yes,
is
and.
very important. Yes, and then my second favorite word is and.
Brilliant. What's the last album you listened to?
Well, I've been listening to a lot of Bonnie Light Horseman.
Mm.
My friend Anais Mitchell, who wrote Hadestown, the creator of Hadestown, that's her new band. And
Mm.
she sent me their new record a few months ago. And then I walked back through that to their last, all the other records, and been loving them. Finally,
Good for you.
on
Having
board.
time. Yeah. Where do you want to go that you've never been?
Everywhere,
Okay.
everywhere, everywhere. I've finally figured out that I'm playing the wrong kind of music this whole time. I play the kind of music that really only brings me to English speakers. Maybe I get to go around Europe. I used to visit Japan now and then, but I need to play the kind of music that gets me to South America and India and China and the Middle East and Africa. And I don't know what that music is. Jazz, I think.
Mm.
But I mean, I do, I have many musician friends, and depending on genre, some of us go further afield. And I do
Wow.
wish that was me. I feel like I'm a jazz cat at heart. I'm in the moment. I'm all about the improvisation.
Yes.
But I should have gone straight jazz because I'd be in Argentina right now.
Okay. We'd be missing a lot of like formative content, all of us, if had you gone jazz, I think. So
Okay. All right.
like don't
Thanks.
throw that away. But I think the idea that your musical path is being influenced by where you want to tour is fascinating.
Yeah, that's maybe the way I should do it from now on.
Yeah.
Just put a, a pin on a map and then write the album that will get me there.
Good experiment.
You helped me discover this. Thank you, Cecily.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That wasn't even my question. I'll take credit. Well, I think I already know. Where do you want to never go again?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
Maybe there's not an
uh,
answer for that.
no, that's not there's no, there's people everywhere. And the places that you never want to go again, those people need you to go again more than anyone. So
Well said.
I will always go there to see them.
All right. Last one. What will you do when we finish this call tonight?
I will go next door to my friend's house, and she will take me through all her plants that I'm watering for the next few weeks for her because I'm playing the home game.
Yes, you are.
Flip
I'm
of
going
the
to go
script.
take care of my neighbor's cat. So there we go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
community people.
that's what we do. All right. You did it. You did it. You survived the lightning round with beautiful answers. Thank you, dear Ani, for taking time for this conversation. Congratulations on your second picture book coming out
You too, pal.
next week.
Cecily sweated this thing with me, so congratulations to you two, partner. We did
I'm
it.
psyched for this. Thank you to all of you. Your comments are gorgeous. We will read all of them. Don't forget, you can order your copy, showupsignedbook.com. And now we invite you to go share what you've learned, what you've gleaned from this conversation from this amazing woman, and get out the vote. Good night,
Yeah.
everybody. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.